Well, hello and good morning. I hope you've had a great holiday season. I wanted to continue with our series with Ending on a High Note and answering your questions regarding some of the concerns and some of the things that you wanted to tackle before the end of the year. And one of the things that was mentioned frequently was the goal in mind to reach a certain dollar amount in revenue or in sales. And this is a very popular goal, of course, because we're all doing our business and we're all in our worlds here to make money and to be successful. So this is a very popular goal. However, there's a little bit of an issue with the goal because that number, whether it's $100 or $100,000, that money is actually tied to other people interacting with our products or service. So, for instance, I know some of you who gave this as a goal mentioned this as part of your direct sale business, meaning you are a direct sale consultant or independent consultant, and you're working on trying to build your customers, increase your sales, and hit a certain dollar amount and goal in the company. All of that is fine and good, and it's actually what is a marker for your success in your business, so it's a great thing. However, the problem with that is your dollar amount in mind, the sales that you're trying to achieve, and the level you're wanting to get to in the company is all dependent on third-party people. So you're depending on your customers to buy your product or your clients to take part of your service, and then you may also be depending on team members that you've brought into the company to work just as hard as you in order to be successful, and then in turn you're successful. It is really hard to set a goal when you have to rely on other people to follow through with their end of the bargain, because many times that's not going to happen. You have team members who aren't quite as dedicated or sold on the business as you are, and so when you're depending on them to get out and work, they don't, and so then you're left flat. You can show your product to a lot of customers and get them involved into a lot of parties and a lot of shows and a lot of books, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to buy, and that can be really frustrating when you're getting close to the end of your time frame for your goal and you recognize that the dollars are not there and you haven't quite made that money yet. Some of you also, I know, are watching dollars when it comes to just the overall revenue of your business. The concept still applies. You're still relying on customers or clients in order to purchase your products or services, and you can't make them do that. You can't put a gun to their head and force them to open up their wallet and pay you for whatever it is that you offer them. If you're in the nonprofit world and fundraising is a goal for you, again, you can't make people give to your cause. You can't make people make financial contributions in a way that's forced. They have to be willing to do that, and so this is a very common goal for us, but yet it's also a common frustration for us, because what do you do when you've set that goal and that's where you're really working on, but the numbers just don't come in and the sales are just not there and the customers aren't buying? One of the things that I always try to advise my clients on when we're working on goals, and obviously when it comes to business, the purpose and the main objective is to make money because you're wanting to be successful. But a lot of times what I recommend to my coaching clients is that we not focus on a dollar amount. Granted, that's the ultimate objective, but we need something that we can control. We need a goal that is built around the things that we can do, and we're not dependent on those particular customers. So let me give you an example. If you have a goal to sell $1,200 of revenue or of product, and you know that in order to sell $1,200, you need to sell 12 customers. And so the reason you know that and how you would figure that is determine what the average sale is with each of your customers. So if you know that the average sale between you and a customer is $100 and you need to sell $1,200, that means 12 customers need to purchase your stuff. If you know that you need to sell $1,000 and your average price is $50, well, do the math. You know how many customers you need in order to hit that $1,000 sale goal. It goes for any goal, whether the numbers are big or the numbers are small. You should know what the average buy is, what the average spending dollar is with your customers, and what the average giving dollar is between your donors. So keep that in mind. What is the average purchase? And really, that's a number you should know. You should be able to keep track on what it is that's selling and how much that average sale price is. So if you have $100, let's just use that example. You need to make $1,200. You know your average buy is 100. That means you need 12 customers to purchase your product. And maybe that's 12 new customers, because when they're a new customer, they purchase more than a reorder customer, let's say. So you need 12 customers. In that regards, then you're still going to break that down and say, okay, how many people do I need to see? How many people need to try my product? How many people do I need to introduce myself to or make a presentation to before they become a money engaged person? What I mean by money engaged is someone who puts money on the line and they buy your stuff or they give to your cause or they become a client. So how many people do you need to get in contact with before they become a purchasing person? For myself, I look at that and say, okay, how many new businesses do I need to come in contact with before I get a contract for our virtual support services, for someone to buy a website or someone to have us host their social media? Or how many potential businesswomen do I need to talk to in order for them to become a coaching client? I know those numbers. You hopefully know those numbers for your business, and if you don't, you need to do the math. Track what you've been doing. How many people has it taken for you to get one person to buy at that average buying price? So once you know, let's say that 12 people you need to buy, but not all the first 12 people you see are going to buy. So let's say that it's a 2-to-1 ratio. So let's say it's 24 people. Out of 24 people, 12 people buy, and those ratios are not realistic at all whatsoever. It's just easy math. Most of the time it's like a 10-to-1 ratio. But anyways, so let's just say, you need to see 24 people. That becomes your goal. The activity becomes your goal. So instead of saying my goal this month is to sell $1,200, no, because you can't make that happen. Your goal needs to be that my objective this month, or my goal this month, is to see 24 new people to show my product to, or introduce them to my services, or make a presentation to, or whatever the case may be. Those that activity and those new faces you're going to see will, by average, excuse me, will by average get you to the $1,200 that you originally wanted to hit. A reason why we're doing this backwards type of goal setting is not so much to cheat yourself out of the dollar, but to help you focus on the things that you can control. Like I said, when we have those dollars tied to third-party people, we can be very frustrated when they aren't cooperating with our goal. I've been there. I remember, especially when I was a independent consultant in a direct sales business, I remember standing in women's kitchens and showing them my product and being so aggravated when they wouldn't purchase, thinking, don't they understand? I have a financial goal. I'm trying to make a sale here. I need them to cooperate. And of course, that didn't always work. And so you can't make them participate in your sales goal, but you can get them to participate in just hearing about your stuff, or learning about your product, or hearing a presentation. And that is that's activity that ultimately you are complete control in. You're not dependent on anybody else to participate as far as signing up or spending money. You're just asking for them to check you out, and that is activity you can do. Now you can break that 24 people down even farther and say, how many leads do I get before I get 24 appointments, before those 24 people turn into 12 people, and before those 12 people turn into $1,200 in sales. And if you want to go that route, great. Maybe you need to. If you're really focusing on trying to get new customers or new clients or new donors, maybe the focus needs to be more on generating activity with new leads. So you're not constantly going back to the same people asking for them to participate in your business. They may already be customers, or they've already ran that well dry. So maybe you need to focus on obtaining 100 new leads so that you can get in front of 24 people, and then get 12 sales, and then reach your $1,200. All of that works together. It's a filter down process, and the filter down process is crucial for two reasons. Number one, it gives you a goal that you and yourself are in control of. You're not dependent on anyone else. Secondly, it'll make you feel good regardless of where the dollars shake out. It'll make you feel like you did your part in your business instead of depending, on other people to buy and then being frustrated. So we're focusing on the activity and not on the dollars. And if your law of averages is correct and realistic, then you should still end really close to that $1,200 mark, even maybe going over that $1,200 mark. Third thing that's great for that is it helps track all of the metrics that make your business or your nonprofit work. Excuse me. So if you don't know how much activity you have to put into your business to get those dollars, you really need to know that. Those are very specific numbers that make or break you when it comes to planning and when it comes to setting the bar for yourself. This is for any business, whether you're a service-based business, you sell a product, you have a retail shop, you are a nonprofit, you provide a very specific service. You need to know how do I turn those people into customers, and how many of those does it take before I get a customer. This is a really great tool. It works. You can see that proven in other retail establishments or other businesses. I'll give you a really great example. I remember when I was married to my first husband, he worked for CVS, and one of the things that they kept track of was the time it took for a customer to get through the register line and get their stuff paid for and walk out the door. They also knew, and they kept track of, how many people walked in their door, how many people that walked in their door purchased something off their retail floor, what the average purchase price was, and then, of course, how long it took for them to check out. If a multi-million-dollar company needs to know those numbers, us as small businesses, we need to know those numbers, because they could easily just turn the open sign on and unlock the door, and people are going to come in. We don't have that luxury. So it's even more crucial, and it's more important for us as small entities to make sure that we know the activity that generates the business for us, and we really go hard after that activity, that becomes our goal, that becomes our action steps to get to the sales dollar. We don't want to just set that bar that I need to make $200 and leave it at that. We want to set it on our activity. So if I was setting a goal, like some of you mentioned in your registration form, that you need to sell a certain amount of money, of course I would do that filter down process and know what activity I needed to do. So if I need to introduce my product or service to 24 new people this month, then my action steps would be based on that goal. So my action steps might include attending a network event where I can meet new people, calling my existing customers and asking them for referrals, stepping out and making sure that I have business cards in hand, that I've got information with me, so that when I see someone as I'm out and about during my day, I can introduce myself to them and share with them what it is that I do. I can make some contact with local businesses and ask if I can hold a workshop there for people to hear what I do, or do a try and buy type of thing where I can set my products up for people to experience at the local coffee shop. Whatever it is that you might want to do, those become your action steps. Those action steps get you the names and numbers, or the faces, or the donors, or whoever in your business to get those sales from. And then the sales by law of averages gets you to the dollar amount you're looking for. So I really encourage you to look at that activity, and like I said, regardless of what business you're in, this process really works, and also it really helps you keep track of what you're doing in your business, whether that becomes something you need for business planning purposes, whether you have to make a report to the board, whether you have to justify your business to your husband. Regardless, it's important for you to know how many people do you need to see in order to turn them into potential customers, in order to turn them into actual customers, and what is the average sale that you get from each one of those. That'll help you project your financial planning and your financial goals for the new year as well. So I really encourage you to find some time as we wrap up this year and go into the next to make sure you know what those numbers are and start tracking what it is that you need to do in order to get where you want to go. I hope that's helpful to you. If you have any questions or need any follow-up on that, as always, you can reach out to me at my email, ChristyBrowning@outlook.com. It's in the bottom of this email. Feel free to use it, and I'll be happy to answer any follow-up questions that you may have. For now, make it a great day and have a great week.